While we and everyone else could build a case saying that forbidden history is a thing, considering that certain countries tend to redact their history books to fit their narratives, you know the ones we're talking about. Naturally, there are mysterious cases where said ancient finds have not yet been revealed to us. Thus, we don't know what it is exactly we're missing out on. We'll cover those as well. On the other hand, there will be cases that are far from believable. But this is where you have to make up your own mind. Number 1 is the Vatican Secret Archives. Whether you're a fan of Dan Brown, a religious person, or a history buff, this is not so mysterious but oh so forbidden place. It's deservedly first in line. Now, what most people fail to understand is that Secret Archives is more of a poor translation, a misnomer if you will, as the real meaning is supposed to be the Pope's private archives. Despite that, however, that makes the archives no less interesting, for most of us can only imagine what manuscripts are placed there, what scrolls and books filled with all the plotting, scheming, and conniving that the Vatican's done over the centuries. Maybe that's the exact reason why the archives are closed off to the public and only a select very few are allowed, and only to see certain material that they had themselves requested and nothing else. Number 2 is the JFK Files. The end of 2017 was a special year for historians and conspiracy theorists alike, as the files on the murder of John Fitzgerald Kennedy were released in accordance to the John F. Kennedy Assassination Records Collection Act. Or well, at least part of them. For some reason, the president at the time, President Trump, stopped the release of thousands of files right before they were supposed to come out, citing fears of national security. We won't bore you with the released documents because you can find them online, but we do have to wonder, what does the CIA and FBI think is so dangerous to national security, especially considering it happened so long ago? Well, according to some people, some very interesting pieces of history, like the files of Bill Harvey, a CIA officer that hated Kennedy, or another CIA officer, David Phillips, who supposedly not only was surveilling Oswald, but was also seen with him in Cuba. Subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and I'll personally reply back to your comment. And while you're at it, why not let me know what you'd like to see in the future? Number 3 is a Hebrew high. Most religions not only have something to hide, but most certainly hide quite a lot. In some cases, religions hide things from their own believers as well. That said, believers start taking on a holier-than-thou attitude. Has anybody ever thought of where the whole body of Christ thing comes from? But in this case, we want to talk about the great old Jewish tradition of smoking weed. So apparently researchers found cannabis with its THC and TBD chemicals in a temple that's almost 3,000 years old in Tel Aviv. These wonderful scientists also claim that the same rituals most probably were carried out in the temple in Jerusalem, considering it looks like a smaller version of the first temple in Jerusalem. Funny how archaeologists are no longer allowed in the temple. Number 4 is Sally Hemmings' quarters. The third United States President, Thomas Jefferson, was not without controversies. The Burr-Hamilton incident and the subsequent Burr conspiracy, the way Jefferson treated Wilkinson despite all the proof of his misconduct, and there is that whole issue of having 6 illegitimate children with Sally Heming, who was a slave. Now, while we're sure that many slave-owning Americans indulged in the rape of women with no rights, Jefferson seemed to be absolutely enamored with Sally Heming. Not that the president exploiting a young woman for more favorable conditions is any better, but that leads us to the main point. Archaeologists discovered Heming's quarters under Jefferson's Monticello mansion. While the room was a little more than a cell, only 4 meters by 4 meters, it was very conveniently placed right next to Jefferson's bedroom. Well, now that we've reached about the middle point, it's a good time to remind you, if you enjoy this content, you'll definitely enjoy the rest of the videos here on our channel. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you'll never miss our new videos. Number 5 is Unit 731. War is always an unpleasant state of affairs. Oftentimes it brings out the worst in people. We don't even need to look at the past to see the atrocities being carried out today. Of course, we tend to think that things happened in the past and they're far worse, but could not be anything that would equal the Nazi German human experiments or the horror of Japanese prison camps. Well, this is exactly what we're covering now. Unit 731 was a Japanese epidemic prevention and water purification department. Sadly, though, what they did was carry out war crimes against the Chinese population, running tests on them, such as, but not limited to, injecting diseases, not giving access to water, pressure chamber tests, biological weapons, amputations, and of course, vivisection. Worst part is, all the journals clearly showed the Japanese thought their victims were beneath them, naming them as logs or Manchurian monkeys. Number 6, the Giants of Monte. Here is something you most definitely haven't heard of in history class. These very unique statues give us only a small glimpse into what was potentially a Nuragic civilization. The reason we don't have a good understanding of any of it is because there were no records of the civilization discovered. What we have are mostly weird statues that have both Celtic influence and Asian ones. They're also 2.5 meters tall, hence the name giants. Scientists can't even agree on the date these were made, and the closest we get is 1800 BC to 800 BC. Sadly, the excavations were stopped, and any further insight into this mysterious culture might be a problem. We urge you to have a look at the statues and, most importantly, the model of the necropolis. What's your opinion? How could history have missed out on this civilization? Number 7, it's Mary Magdalene. One of the loveliest topics, as it sets off all the alarms in any staunch Christian. Nobody knows Mary's true story, but some say that Mary was a lady of the night. Jesus' girlfriend, Jesus' wife, was saved from the 7 demons, and even that she was the one that financially supported Jesus and his 12 apostles. All we know is this: she saw Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection, and was also mentioned more than most of the apostles, and more than any other woman in the Bible other than Jesus' family. So, because the Bible was written by monks long after the events transpired, we may never know who Mary was and her true significance. Unless maybe the Pope provides free access to that private library in the Vatican City. Would it not be revolutionary if we found out that Jesus was Mary Magdalene's sugar daddy? Well, we made it to the top 3. Are you excited to see if we kept the best for last? Well, in our humble opinion, we most certainly did. Number 8 is the Ark of the Covenant. If there's one piece of human history that kept generations of people engaged, then it has to be the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. The number of stories, books, movies, and even computer games that it has inspired is unimaginable. And for that, we have to thank the people who supposedly lost it, or hid it, depending on which theory you want to believe, the Templars. Then again, there are theories that the Ark is actually in Ethiopia of all places. The theory states the Jewish people carried it from Elephantine. Biggest question here is, why would people leave it in Ethiopia? If they brought it there, the Jews might as well have taken it back when the persecution stopped. Or the Crusaders should have taken it back. But I guess we won't know until people are actually allowed into St. Mary's of Zion Church in Axum to see the original that's proclaimed to be there. Number 9, aliens. I mean, why wouldn't we just bunch it all together considering the latest happenings? If you missed it, the U.S. Congress had a hearing recently on aliens, though they now call them UAP, which we guess is to keep people from not panicking, but we'll never know the real motives behind the U.S. government hiding all those details for decades, then suddenly acknowledging it as if all is well, while still hiding most of their findings in the non-televised part of the hearing. And it's not only Roswell that you should be thinking about. Alien sightings is a thing that's perplexed humanity throughout the ages, such as Pliny writing about aliens appearing during a battle. Then again, he wrote about ghosts as well, so maybe not the best source of information. But one thing is clear though, the U.S. is hiding something. Number 10, the Thevoynich Manuscript. So as we come to our favorite piece of mysterious history, the Thevoynich Manuscript. People and researchers alike have been confused about the existence of the manuscript for decades, with no theory about it being a primary one. A lot of people would consider it a hoax, but somebody would have to be absolutely crazy to create a 240-page, incredibly intricate and confusing hoax. Other theories suggest it could be a cipher of sorts, or just the works of a madman that drew and wrote everything in sort of a stream of consciousness. What the reality is, we do not know. But if you're keen to see all the fantastical plants, astrological symbols, and other things, You can access it online at the Yale University Library. Who knows, maybe you'll be the one to decipher it and succeed where others failed. Well, we've reached the end of our top 10, and what did you think? Do you agree with us on these choices? Was there one we missed you'd like us to cover? If so, don't hesitate to drop it in the comment with a suggestion and we might put it on the next list. While you're at it, don't forget to check out our other videos.